Hey, how y'all doing? Thank you. Like I said, thank you for hearing me, at least for this, for, the post I put up. I said, just say hello. I'm a man. I'm not in my emotions just now, you know, uh, feeling something right now. It's not just a moment, you know what I'm saying? It's being human, for real. Growing up as little boys, we are groomed to, that don't hurt, stop crying. Big boys don't cry, that's a lie. And is one of the fallacies or the lies that we have been taught and groomed to believe that allows us to shun any and every emotion aside from anger and aggression. It allows us to take those things out of our vocabularies even. I didn't say words like cute, pretty, and beautiful till I was like 19. I told my mother through other situations and going on abuses and things of that nature going on in the house. I didn't tell my mother I loved her until I was 16, and I was forced to be told to tell her that by staff in detention home. So when you it's even taught by the mothers. You can get bit by a shark, attacked by some hyenas and some lions. When you get to the kids, you like, hey, big boy, it's okay. And you try to get him to stop crying. No, let him feel that pain. That's natural. That's what life is bringing about. You know what I'm saying? It's not a situation that is caused by the Most High, but it's our feelings, our emotions, the reaction to those things. You know what I'm saying? Are natural and established and created by the Most High for us to be able to respond to those type of things. And so let that boy cry. Let that girl cry. All those situations that you're dealing with, hey, Angie, hey, Molly Gibb. So you talking about you want to continuously do whatever it is that you're doing. You want to make them stop crying so you can finish watching the soaps, Young and the Restless, All My Children, Empire, whatever the situation is at night. You don't want to look bad in front of other people. So you tell this kid, stop crying, that don't hurt. Hey, Steph Midget, one of the coldest photographers in the city. Aretha Walker, how you doing? And we stop crying, that don't hurt. It do hurt when you stub your toe. When your kid tell you it don't hurt, don't you tell your kid to get away from you? Get off of the people tell you they hug you. You know what I'm saying? They hug you and you like, and you cry, you feel what you feel. You know what I'm saying? And you want to deal with that. One of the things the Most High has given us, He's also given us tears. Tears allow us to release the emotional form of pain. It transforms the energy of pain, and then you cry and you let that out and you get it out. So what I'm telling you is when you tell this child, and that's true, Molly Gibb, I got it in my book. When you tell this kid, oh, stop crying, that don't hurt, that it do hurt. And what you are doing is you forcing this child to suppress the pain. You forcing this child to deal with it in an unnatural resource, in an unnatural process. You're telling this child to shun any and every emotion besides anger and aggression. And you hear that? Aside from anger and aggression. And you allow them to respond to that. That's how they begin to respond. This is how people become violent. This is how people become angry and not outspoken, but verbally abusive and using no tact. I'm telling you because I'm telling you me. I'm telling you me. I was, be quiet, don't be, and I was told how to feel. How you think about this? I think, no, you don't. You think. Wow. How do you feel about this? I feel. No, you don't. You feel. Stop. Don't be telling your kids how to feel. Don't be telling your kids how to think. Don't be telling your kids it don't hurt. If it hurt, let it hurt. He ain't no punk because he crying. She ain't no big girl because she don't cry. You a grown woman. Don't you cry when your feelings hurt? Not just when your feelings hurt, you feel pain, emotional situations as well. When that check don't come and it's supposed to be there, how you feel? You mad because things got to be taken care of. It's not being taken care of. So you might cry. Let that happen. It's a natural resource. We've been groomed and taught to believe this, and which is why one of the reasons we are also looked at as animals. Handle anything, hit them with a dog, a broom, a mop, a brick, a little noise, and keep going. They don't cry according to what you think, but guess what they do? They really do. And I put the post up that I put up. I need this hello or something like that. It's like, I show you my house. I've been locked in every room in here. I've been locked in every closet in here. I've been locked in the basement in here, on the 3rd floor in here, even though it's finished, even though the basement's finished and water. Yeah, all them spots. Because I was considered to be bad. But I became what I was groomed to be as a boy. That's what happened to me. I was groomed. I became what was stunted. I didn't know how to cry. Stuff like that was foreign to me. Chinese. So hold on. Stacy Lloyd, you say, so funny you are saying this. My uncle and I was just speaking on this today, and we grown kids need to learn about all emotions. Yeah, we do. We need to learn about emotions. They are natural. They are a process and source of your life. We don't just feel happiness all the time. We feel sadness. And guess what? We need to learn how to deal with that. We have to go through a mourning processes. We have to learn ourselves to do that. I'm still mourning my mother. I go through my mourning process. Things are getting better, but I'm learning it. And I say that, I put that post up about somebody saying hello and things. Again, like I was getting back to the abuses I went through. And I've been locked in all these rooms, all these cars. I went through a whole bunch. So I'm the youngest of 5 kids. We just found a brother. I love him. Dave Allen Oates. Love him. That's my brother. I've lived with these other brothers and sisters, though, that abused me my whole life. So I've been alone myself. So my demonstration is, I don't have the same father that they have. And they hated me till today at almost 50 years old for sex I ain't had nothing to do with. You know what I'm saying? I'm laughing now, because what I've done through my life is I have grown to embrace being by myself. Like right now, I pull the phone off. This is how lonely I was as a kid. But it groomed my imagination to be who and what I am today as a man. But this is how lonely I was when I was a kid. I pull the phone off the hook and dial it with my feet. I turn the TV with my feet because I saw things coming up in life to where people didn't have arms or legs or different stuff like that. I learned how to do it because I felt all my life I was going to be by myself. So I embraced loneliness. I embraced it. I accepted it. And what I do is I grow with it and I hurdle it and I deal with it. And I deal with the Most High God for real, for real. If I can accept some people that gives a form of love, I agree with it. I accept it. But one of the things that made me get into gangs when I was coming up, one of the things that turned me into the Maurice Marbury, here he come across the street, Mo Better, across the street. And I was always a nice guy, but one of the things that turned me into that is because my emotions were shunned. Not just shunned, they were stunted from Big Boys Don't Cry. So I became that dude, like I didn't feel nothing. And then in abuses at home, I became in the streets what I was in the house. So please allow your kid to be a kid. Don't try to stunt their emotions, because what you do is you stunt the mental and intellectual growth in them. You stunt the vocabulary, the emotions and everything. And then we become the adults that we were groomed to be as children. What you need to do is sit down with them like you watch Empire. Young and the Restless, Atlanta Housewives. turn that Xbox, PlayStation, and Wii off and sit down there and you sit with them and you read books with them, not just give it to them, read them with them and communicate with these things ask them questions about things in life. You know what I'm saying? Not just Reno, the games and stuff that's going on, and the new song that's out, and what kind of weed came. That's not important. I'm talking about situations in real life. I'm a man. Ask some people who I am, was, can be, choose not to, fighting not to be at times, because things get hard. And I put that post up because, again, even though I embrace loneliness, it is me. I understand what my situation is. And coming up as a kid, I believe that things groom you and train you for what you're going to deal with later on in life. Does it take the pain away from it? No. Does it take the sorrow away from it? No. It doesn't. It allows you to deal with it in a different perspective that somebody else would. But see, I did 4.5 years in solitary confinement when I was incarcerated. There's some brothers in this group that have experienced similar situations and the same things. And being lonely as a kid allowed me to adapt to that and embrace that and deal with it in a different way. I read, I studied all day. I did things of that nature. But at times, guess what? It is still innate in a human being, to feel, to desire to feel and be felt for, to love and be loved, to be intimate with and feel intimacy. And if you don't get that, it'll come out. And sometimes it comes out in deranged and even crazy ways if it's not dealt with. Me, I learned how to deal with my situations. So what I do is I'll reach out. You know, guess what I'm going to do? I'm a man. You see what I'm saying? I'll reach out. My history is, man, today, I'm almost 50. Man, he'll fight 4 or 5 niggas by himself and win. I'm big dudes that can really bang and Mo get on. But I'm human. I still feel pain. I still feel emotions. I still feel hurt. I still feel lonely at times. I still want to get down. I still want to make love. I want to kiss, touch. Just sometimes be talked to. Some things can be simple. Can I hold you? Can I lay my head on your lap, on your shoulder? And guess what I'm doing? If you look my history up, and I don't say this to brag, I say this to actually teach you about your kids and your sons. Look my history up. He robs police, federal agents. He kidnaps them. He police. So you being a regular dude, history, you talking about gangster? He New Jack City, takers, you know, stuff. I lived that life in reality, which forced me to, again, being denied the proper use and being correctly taught about how to deal with my emotions caused me to drive to that. I began to accept anything that I thought was love. And guess what love is, man? You would die for me. Kill for me, man. We can do this together. Me and you, if you love me, man, I love you too, man. You my nigga, you my dog. We facing 165 years of life in prison because I love you. It was a misinformed and miseducated definition of what love really is. So I'm saying the same. And I learned and enjoyed going through various situations and start embracing who I am. Bullet on here right now. You got Fred Ward. Me and my dudes ran every penitentiary that we ever went to. Did what we wanted to do. And I'm on social media right now in front of the world. And anybody can get on here and say, man, he lying. Why aren't they? So see, the guy that you see today with the glasses on, I always wore them. He got the glasses on and speaking like I'm speaking now. This is why I am speaking like I'm speaking now. I'm speaking like this because I learned the hard way, and what I'm trying to get you and to do is not make the same mistakes that I have made. I'm trying to get you to listen to me and pay attention to your children. I'm telling you what formed me. I'm telling you what to stop forming in your own children. I'm telling you how to redirect this. And let's do this how we supposed to do it. See, I'm doing this from a passion. See, a lot of things that I do now, I'm doing because I was there. I know what it takes. I know what it is. And again, as this man, as this gangster they call me, I laugh at people. Some people talk to me and be, yeah, man, this dude, yeah, that's my OG. And he did, yo, man, this, yeah. Your OG called me OG in real life. Your OG used to call me when he had problems he couldn't get rid of. In real life. And again, I'm on social media to the world. And if I'm lying, somebody can get on here and say, man, no, that wasn't the case. And they not. Why do they never do? I say that to say this again, not to prove that I'm somebody, but to say this. That same dude that your OG and gangster call OG and gangster is telling you right now, man, I get emotional. I learned to deal with it, though. I learned to overpower and overcome and go against what is the norm. I'm a real man. So guess what it means to be a man now today. I can beat you. I can fight you. I'll put my hands on you. I can destroy. I can tear up, right? Guess what it really means to be a man is. When you be a man, you can go against the norm. When you real. Go against the norm. When you feel like crying, man, don't get mad. Don't tear something up. Don't swing on something. Don't fight somebody. Don't shoot somebody's house up, tear somebody's car up, do whatever the situation may be. You feel like crying, cry, man. You feel like reaching out, reach out, man. Get what you really want, bleed. What you really feeling in your heart that you have rearranged and changed and manufactured and shaped to be something other than it is. Grab that. Go against the norm, dude. Go against it. That's what I do. That's why I reach out sometimes. I got a rose on my hand. Got the tattoo when I was 27. Like my man Bullet on here. But y'all know him as Bullet. Y'all know him as Anthony Jackson. Louisville Hitman. Wow. Worst penitentiary. Riot. In 100 years. That's where we was at. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes guess what we come through? Emotional situations. Oh, B, what's up? Mansfield too. Oh, wait, what's up? What's up, man? Man, I want to holler, and we holler. Emotional crowd, whatever the situation may be, we can do that because we men. Again, I got this rose. Because like I just defined what it means to be a man in today's society. I'll put my hands on you. I'll knock you out. I'll do this. I'll do that to you. When I began to understand who I am, when I became in tune with the whole and total me, even the emotional and sensitive side of me that allows me to say, I'm sorry. Forgive me. Please, I'm sorry. When I took the brace off of what was stifled in me pertaining to my emotions, I put what represents sensitivity or femininity even. Ain't nothing gay about me. I'm strictly vaginal. I do something to you that they write in movies and books about in real life. So I'm saying the emotional side of man. When I became in tune with that, I put a rose what represents sensitivity or femininity on top of what we consider to be strength. On top of what we consider to be power. This is what allows me now today, at times like I did earlier, to reach out and say, man, I need a hello. Somebody let me know that what I'm doing is not in vain. Let me know you feel me. When I reach out and touch, man, that was just a hand. Touch me back. And I appreciated everything it was that y'all did for me. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing to you, but it was to me. You know, so I want to thank you for that. And I'm telling you now, I'm talking to you, man, you got an issue with your son, call me. You got a son dealing with situations, hit me up. I'm going to talk to him. I got a friend right now whose son in his joint. They have to talk to him. I say, ask him who I am. Niggas, man, that nigga 100. My thing is, and I became in tune with myself in the joint. Not from any emotional or sexual situations or none of that. It was just like, man, I was tired. I had to ask myself some questions. It's in my book, right? Where I talk about I had to ask myself some real questions. And this was in the process of my change. My book still in the process of being done. It won't be long. I've just been dealing with a whole lot right now. And one of the things in my book is when I was talking about, I said, in my process of changing, I said, man, you say you love women. I'm talking to myself. You see, Anthony Jackson, Charles Kelly, Kimball Bew. There's a few other brothers in the organization that'll be able to tell you sometime, man, when you locked up for yourself for 24 hours a day, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you in a cell where you can see out, and then sometimes you just got a door where you can't see out, and you're in here 24 hours a day. So you talk to yourself like this sometimes to remain sane. And I asked myself, I said, man, you say you love women. Man, so is you sure you ain't gay? I'm talking to myself. I'm saying because, you know, if you love women like you say you love women, why do you keep creating situations to where you only locked up with men? When you with a woman, you gotta sneak and you gotta go through all that. So is you like trying to come out some kind of way, man, out of closet or something? Or it was you faking? It's a question I really asked myself. It's in my book. I asked myself 3 questions. The second question, I said, man, you say you love your kids. Well, if you really love your kids, why do you keep doing things to take you away from your kids? You vowed to never not be there like your father was not there for you, but guess what you keep doing? Coming to the joint, not being there for your kids. Do you really love them? Then my other thing, my third question, these 3 questions, I asked myself, I said, man, you say you don't like being controlled. You don't like being told what to do. But you keep placing yourself in an environment to where if somebody can tell you, you can't even use the bathroom. You cannot perform a natural process that the Most High is giving you. I had to ask myself how real I really am. Man, it caused me to begin to define what I said I like. I love women. Okay, but if you love women, why do you keep doing? And then it caused me to make actions to get away from what I said I love, or get away from what I said I hate, and to get to what I really love, which is why I ain't been back. My children, I love my children. I had to find out and define what love is. So now I had to start performing the actions of that. I hate being controlled and told what to do. Guess what? I don't go that route no more. Sometimes it gets real, real hard again. Being lonely. Feeling alone. But then that's why I reach out. Something else that I was told not to do. And I have to define myself of a real man. Again, my situations are really like, I deal with a lot of situations from the Bible. You know, I deal with Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, things of that nature. And when you think of these people, even David would cry. David was intelligent, though. David loved women. David loved his family. But David was emotional. Abraham was the patriarch that we ever deal with. A warrior. Actually took a matter of a few slaves to conquer a country to get his nephew and things of that nature back. And you start dealing with these situations. Guess what, though? Abraham cried. David cried. Isaac cried. Jacob cried. Moses cried. Solomon cried. Okay, we can come all the way back and start dealing with other people. Elijah cried. You want to go to the Quran? You want to go to pharaohs? Deal with them. They are human beings, and this is what they did. And everyone who tried to form himself to be a robot, guess what? Man, you dying of old age. You know what I'm saying? Or not old age, but you dying of like diseases before your age. You going through all these different types of situations, and guess what? People don't like being around you because you're a robot. Be emotional, man. Learn to have a balance. In my book, I say one thing. I said, never allow your emotions to overshadow your thinking, but combine and rationalize with both your thoughts and emotions. And I say that because as men, we're groomed to be strictly reason without emotion. But if you're strictly reason without emotion, you can take the passion and the joy away from a thing. But if you're strictly emotional, you could take the reason out of a thing and do things of the heart, which is not a good thing to do. So we gotta have that balance. We'll try our best to have that balance, which is why one of the reasons is that's why a man and a woman needs to be together. I don't want to hear that independence situation. Guess what? You independent, guess what? It's a situation that's not going on that's good in your life right now because you independent. We're codependent, for real. Aretha Walker, you say, you know, I was a strict parent. The other day I did a self-check that wasn't good. They are good kids, but now they all so timid and shy. And I apologize to all the four the other day. And guess what? They're still children. I don't care even if they're in their teens. If they're in their 20s, it don't matter. Guess what? You can still groom and teach them that there's more to what's going on in life and that they're going to experience actually everything in life. And they need to be a part of it. They need to be taught that. Again, school is the building that we send them to during the daytime. Education pertaining to life starts at home. Anthony Jackson, it's a trip. Got to tighten up and strengthen. Okay, all right, brother. I see you putting your situation together. Hey, Tess, how you doing, Hopkins? Right, Anthony Jackson, you said, gotta heed to life. We gotta understand that there's going to be many situations in life that we're going to be faced with. And what are you going to do? Tell them not to face it, not to deal with it. In some cases, that is correct. But at the same time, the situation is, are you emotional? How should I deal with that? Let them know that they're going to have their own situations and how they feel they should deal with it. But guess what? You can explain your reactions and your responses. But the thing is, they are actually going to happen in life. And they need to know how to deal with it. And you are the parent. So guess what? They need that from you. Yeah, DeLauren Martin. Real men cry. Yeah, I do. And sometimes I need that hug. Grown, you know what I'm saying? Your wife, my sister. There's people on here, you know what I'm saying, to see me tell dudes in the penitentiary, whole blocks, killers and murderers. Man, let's lock down. Let's not lock down. Let's do this. We gonna go to wreck. We ain't gonna do that. And they do it. Your sister done seen me tell blocks of drug dealers with hammers in their hand, y'all gotta go when they leave. That don't mean I can't cry. That don't mean I'm not human. I'm not a man. We have to teach them that. Like the piece that I did for my daughter that I put up here. You know what I'm saying? And we talk about what it is to be a man and how much the boys need this man in their life. Well, let me explain something to you, man. That little girl needs you too, because guess what? She gonna pick that dude that you remind her of. She gonna pick that dude. Her example is gonna be the example that you leave for her. So again, I wanna I want to thank the people. Hey, how you doing? Rosalind. Craig Breeze out. How you doing? Charlotte Crenshaw. Yeah, but I just wanted to say I wanted to reach out and thank everybody, you know what I'm saying, that reached out to me. And I'm telling everybody what it is and what it come from. Yeah, man. Or better, man, he be fighting 4-5 dudes by himself today. He got work. I still feel pain. I still feel sorrow. I still cry. I still miss my mama. You know what I'm saying? Just died a few years ago, a couple years ago for me. You know what I mean? I still need to reach out to people. We all need to reach out to people. And this is what I want to talk to people about. You know what I'm saying? This is part of Collective Minds LLC. And being able to reach out to people and say, hey, come here. Let me holler at you. And somebody actually being there. We need to be able to trust one another. We need to be able to know that regardless to whatever the situation is, somebody is there for me. Somebody is there for you. And their intentions are pure. Their intentions is to better you. Their intentions is to actually help you. Their intentions are to assist you in the ways that they possibly can. So, again, you know, I wanted to thank the people who reached out to me and paid attention and gave that shout back. And I just wanted to tell them what the situation is. You know what I'm saying? I'm dealing with a lot right now. And even though every time anybody has seen me, the majority of my life, I've been by myself. I have embraced it. I have come to understand that it is part of who I am. You know what I'm saying? And this is part of my lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? To where this is what I do. Thank you. And the situation is, thank you, Aretha. And the part of it, the situation is, we human. Man, I don't care what type of robot you are, what type of, you think, guess what, man? You get lonely. And like being with the type of brain that I have, I didn't come up with a dude in my house. The only dude, well, the dude that I had in my house was real abusive. That's another story. I'll talk to y'all about that another time. I read a letter that I sent to him when I was locked up. You know, and but the situation, I didn't, because I wasn't no man really in my house like that. I didn't grow up watching like sports. I play every sport because it was something that we had to do in the kids, but I don't watch sports. I'm not into cars like everybody in the cars. I'm into, by the lack of me having certain situations in my life, it forced me to be the man that I am today, that to where my predominance is like, I don't watch TV. Like when I was gone this last time, somebody broke in my house and took my TVs, all kinds of stuff out, and I had to replace what I did, but I never really brought a TV, but I don't watch TV. I read all the day. And I study a lot. And like dudes are into sports and cars, I'm into reactions. I'm into the things that happen in life. I'm into the emotions. I'm into the psychology. I'm into why things happen and what can be done about it. Why the response to this? Why the reaction to that? But predominantly, it catered to the things that I missed when I was coming up. The things that I desired when I was coming up. Some of the things that I had when I was coming up. Why? Why can an adult abuse a kid? I wanted to know that. So that's what led me to psychology and theology. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, right, Aretha Walker, I'm into creating solutions as to why this happens. But as a good doctor, what the first thing you do is you find out first what it is. Then you find out where it came from. Then what a good doctor works on is treatment until he or she finds a cure. And you work on that. And that's what my aim is. That's why I talk like I talk about everything. This is why I am who I am and why I do what it is that I do. Yeah, D. DeLorean, I'm into the sciences of life. I'm not just into sports and stuff. That don't interest me. And I'm trying to figure out how far we have allowed ourselves to become so encapsulated in situations that don't matter, that you could tell me what happened to the sports star and this athlete when he was 15 and 16, but you can't tell me what's going on at your 12-year-old daughter's school. You can't tell me why your 15-year-old son is suspended. Do you know why their school being closed now? Glenville today. I went up there. Second in the nation. United States of America. Second highest school. Every year, somebody comes from Glenville and goes to the pros. They closing it down. Can you tell me that? But you can tell me who playing for the Browns, the Pittsburgh Steelers, Dallas Cowboys, Cavaliers. But why is the school being closed down? And then they built a multi-million-dollar maximum security juvenile penitentiary facility in the heart of the city. This is what I think about. This is what my mind is. This don't make me better than you. Don't make me better than you, but it makes me like more, I'm like, why? More worried. Wondering what's next. Put your mind on the things that really, really matter. Like I say it all the time. It's a terminology that I use, but it was the name of one of my shows that I'm going to bring back in real life. This is what we need to do. We need to get a hold of the real life. And this is all the things that we need to embrace. But again, I wanted to reach out and let people know, real men cry. All the real men that I know of have studied, you know what I'm saying? They cry when they feel like it, and they reach out when it's need to. And a lot of them times, guess what they did? See, my thing is I learned from experience, and I learned that I'm trying to show people that you don't always have to experience things firsthand to get the best experience. So I'm trying to give you mine like I've learned from other people. Like when you talk about gangsters, Al Capone cried. We'll find out why. We'll find out why, and then come back and then you tell me, you let me know. He's dying. People call themselves to be gangsters. You know what I'm saying? Guess what? The coldest gangster of them all in the stories that you watch from The Godfather, Michael Corleone. Matter of fact, Don Corleone cried. He cried. Then his son, who was the next gangster in line, he cried. Both of them people cried from situations to where they were forced to deal with their emotions as opposed to learning to deal with them firsthand and naturally. And I learned that, and I learned it in some of the weirdest ways when I learned it in the joint. And when I was going through this in the joint, it's beginning to change. People looking at me like I was dealing with horticulture and botany in the joint. We had college in the joint. So I'm dealing with different things. I'm putting the flowers in front of the pots and things like that. And dudes walking by like, man, I heard you was a gangster, man. I mean, what you doing with the flowers and the roses and you planting this and that? I ain't saying any laugh. You know what I'm saying? So I said, come here for a minute. He come back like, man, I'm just saying, gangsters don't do this, man. I'm trying to figure. I said, you like The Godfather? Like Don Corleone? He said, yeah. I said, you watch the movie? He said, yeah. He said, man, I read the book 3 times, man. He was a boss. That's what he said to me, right? And he's telling me about Don Corleone. Don Corleone is a gangster, but he telling me at the same time that gangsters don't do sensitive stuff like this. Dude's gonna be looking at me in a certain way. I'ma smash your lights out too, bleed. In real, with the same expression on my face. You know what I mean? But the whole demonstration is, what I gave to him is this. I asked him a simple question. We look past so much to see what we want to that we miss the gist of the most important part of things. I said, that's your one. You see how many times he read the book and told me what gangsters don't do. And I said, you read the book? I said, you saw the movie too? I said, Don Corleone died. And I had to look at him just like I'm looking at you right now through the screen. Because he couldn't answer me. Then we took it back. I said, where did he die? I said, he was watching his kids. I said, yeah, he died. Not watching his kids. He died playing with his grandchildren. I said, where was he playing with his grandchildren? At a party. I said, he was actually playing with his grandchildren. It was at a party, but he was playing with them in the rose garden that he planted with his own hands. This Don Corleone. This the dude that you admire. You see what I'm saying? So you trying to tell me about a gangster, you know what I'm saying, that I studied before you ever thought about dealing with anything. So we miss the gist of a thing to attach and grab ourselves into what fits us. But Don Corleone, a gangster, cried. And I was making flowers. I was doing flowers. Don Corleone had a garden, beautiful garden that he planted with his own hands. Michael Corleone, he cried. First time he cried, it was when his daughter died from being in a lifestyle that he really was trying to get out of. That's what I cry about sometimes. But sometimes I run into people and I know what the situation is. Y'all be trying to force something, man. I duck you because not I fear you. I duck you because I fear me. And that's a hard thing to do at times. Charlie Crenshaw, you said my dad was the strongest man I've ever known, and I saw him cry twice in my life. Those moments showed me that men have feelings too. Yeah, we do, but we try to shun them and run from them. Don't. Embrace them. Learn how to deal with them. You won't be weak because you cry. Guess what? You show that you're actually more of a man to be able to cry when you feel like crying than you do trying to hide it. Because guess what you're doing? You're going against the norm. You go against the norm. That's what men do. Men not scared of nothing, right? Men ain't scared of nothing. Cry then. When you feel like it, express your emotions how you should, tactfully. It don't matter, but express your emotions. I don't have no problem saying you hurt me. I don't have no problem saying you hurt my feelings. I have no problems now saying I'm sorry. I apologize. Forgive me. None. That's why I had no problems reaching out and saying, just say hello to me. Let me know that what I'm doing is not being done in vain. That's why I did it. Me and my mother got cool. And I always lived with her, but we never really had the maternal connection. For real, for real. Like the maternal connection. It's my mother. I loved her. She loved me. But we knew later on in life, I understood that she loved me to the best of her ability in her imperfect way. That's why I knew why it wasn't like it was supposed to be, because I had that understanding and education of what love is. And I began to understand human imperfections and the things that we go through that cause us to do what we do. Because when I was in the joint, one of the majors I took up also was psychology. So I learned I wanted to know why I was going through the things that I went through. Why I was dealing with situations that I was dealing with and some of the things that was going on in my life. And that's what made me study like I did. And when I came home, me and my mother got cool. And like, thank you, D. Lord. It's my passion, man. You know, I don't want people to go through what I went through. But again, me and my mom, we got cool in July. Like July, she started talking to me like, you know, about me. I never knew nothing about me until I was 41. And she started telling me about how her and my dad met and all kinds of situations. And I'm like, I took it in. I embraced it. October, she was in the hospital. You know, I seen her one morning. I came over and was like, hey, how you doing? I had a friend I was dealing with at the time. It was a doctor. I had her come over and look at my mother. I seen my mother. I said, yeah. I had her come over, look at her. And she was like, pulled me to the side, like, yeah, something wrong. Then she started talking to my mother in front of my mother. I said, get dressed. I got somewhere I want to take you. And I called my dude, Big Ty Givens, and I took her to the hospital. A year and a half, 2 years, they have been telling my mother that she had a urinary tract infection and kidney stones. And my doctor friend was like, no, this is deeper than that. So I took her to the hospital, and they tried to release her again. I said, man, listen. So my friend was a friend of a doctor that's a nice, big doctor by the grace of the Most High. Because of his word, we didn't have to wait in emergency. When they tried to send her home again, they made another call. They kept her that night, didn't have to wait in emergency, went straight upstairs and everything. The next day, they gave through the test, and she did, they diagnosed her with cancer. And she stayed in the hospital, and I moved in the hospital with her until Thanksgiving. She passed away Thanksgiving of 2011. So that's why, like, these months for the last years for me, from like around October to like February, be kind of like hard for me, because it's like, even though I don't celebrate any holidays, I consider them to be pagan holidays. The demonstration is from October. You got October, then you got Thanksgiving. That's the day she died on. Then it's Christmas Eve. Then it's Christmas. Then it's New Year's Eve and New Year's. And these situations, even though I don't celebrate them, I understand the energy of the emotions that are going around. Aside from being pagan holidays, is people who are genuinely feeling for each other this time. I feel that energy. And then you got January, then you got February, which is Valentine's Day. Then it's my birthday in February. So it's like all this happened like real in a period of 4 months. So I get emotional at this time. It's something like your body. A lot of people understand we are over 100 trillion cells. But each cell has its own ability to think and process memory. So even though I can be doing something else and going around and doing something and moving forward, my cells will recollect what I missed, which is my mother, and it'll bring it back, and I get emotional during these times. And I'll reach out sometimes, even though I'm by myself and I've embraced it and I know that this is part of my lifestyle. I still be like, they'll come from nowhere, and then I have to remember what it is. I'll embrace it and I'll reach out. So that's what this whole situation is about with me right now. But again, at the same time, that dude, you a man, for real. Prove you a man. Men take dares. Men go against the norm. If you feel like it, start saying, I'm sorry. Start saying, I apologize. Start accepting responsibility when you do something that you're not supposed to do with somebody, or with somebody else, and even with your woman. And if you feel like it, don't play, don't fake, but cry. If that's what you feel like at that time, that's how you feel when it's for that moment, and that's how you feeling. Do that, bro. You ain't gonna be no less of a man. You still the dude that'll put them things down. You still the dude to take care of his business. You still the real man. You still the dude that's working and taking care of his household and the things he's supposed to do. If you are. Even if you shed a tear, man. Y'all be easy. Thanks for checking in.